Hi, I'm Christopher Hitchcock. This is my portfolio video showcase for project and portfolio 3 in the February semester. So coming into this class, I did have a fair amount of JavaScript knowledge already. I've been in the web industry since 2011, but frankly, my JavaScript was very spotty until about a year ago. I became a full-time web developer, and in that, I knew how to manipulate JavaScript. I could take what somebody else had created, but I really honestly was not comfortable at all in creating my own. What happened is I started working with it more. That made me a little bit more comfortable, but I couldn't really go to like MDN and figure out how to do something based off that. Everything was still very confusing to me. The real change came for me actually when I started going to Full Sail and I began learning C Sharp, and the object-oriented programming really, really taught me how to build JavaScript that was more functional and effective, and I started to grasp concepts that were otherwise foreign to me in the past. So I'm going to go through a little bit of my projects here for this course. I had a lot of fun, as you'll notice here in the slides to come. My theme for the month was Star Wars. I am a very big nerd and enjoy computers. I enjoy Star Wars, Marvel, stuff like that. So I decided to go with an overall Star Wars theme and continue with that throughout the entire semester. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to use my theme as the backdrop here for my code editor. And in the front here, you'll see in the top left corner and is my project from week 2. In the bottom left corner is my project from week 1. So those are fun little projects. The really, coming into this semester, I fortunately had a lot of this experience, but the cool thing was I did get to learn some new things and brush up on some others. So um, I spent with most of my assignments here doing templates in JavaScript using template literals so that I could uh, create the objects that I wanted and pass that data directly into the HTML. Or the cool thing that I learned in this class that I was able to even go to work and teach some of the guys at work was about insert adjacent HTML. And from that, we learned about insert adjacent element, stuff like that. So those two projects were the first ones we did here. The top right corner is the form validation. I had done some form validation in the past, so the regex I knew how to use, and that was another fun project. And then the bottom right was probably my favorite project. I got to go out and search for an API. I found a Star Wars API, and what I did is I took that project from week 2 and I shaped it a little bit to be more along the lines of what I was looking for, where I moved the HTML elements around and and then built most of the object in JavaScript actually. So when you looked in the HTML, there wasn't a whole lot that was there. So the successes and challenges and advice that I would have for people. Let's see, for success, I would definitely say that there were some better techniques that I learned. I mentioned it briefly. I didn't even know about insert adjacent elements and HTML. So that was a really nice thing. I've actually used that at work already since. And then the API, I really came into this class very, very rarely using APIs in my work life. So it was one of those things that I was very uncomfortable with, mainly because I didn't know what it was. After this class, I learned that APIs really aren't scary and that they're something that are a lot more powerful than I gave myself credit for knowing that I had actually used them in the past and just didn't know what they were called. So, and then some of the JS elements. So the problems that I ran into, just like any other course, you run into problems with your own problem solving or error between keyboard and chair, just things that you've typed wrong that you think that you did right, and a lot of times you have to walk away before you finally figure out what you did wrong. Lexical declarations. This was something that I really ran into with the last project. Um, I was running into stuff like crazy where even when I had stuff placed correctly, it was telling me that um, I couldn't use a lexical declaration prior to it being initiated. And that was so confusing to me because I knew the order I had done it in and I thought I had done it correctly. And it turned out it had a lot to do with the fetch element. And that was a really big problem to overcome. I got really frustrated, but ultimately it's a fun thing when you solve those. So the biggest advice I'm going to have for anyone, whether it's this class, programming, whatever it may be, is make sure it's something you enjoy. I love programming. My wife asks me all the time, she goes, I don't know how you do this stuff. It gives me a headache. If you don't have fun doing it, don't force yourself to. You're going to have to do it. It's not going to get better if you try and force yourself to do it. So make sure it's something you have fun. Have fun with this class. Pick a theme that you like, something that you're going to have fun, and really, really spend some time reading through all the content. There is a wealth of knowledge that the professors gave us, and you do yourself only a disservice to try and glance over it. I tell you, after coming through with 9 years of experience in the industry, not nearly as much in JavaScript, mostly HTML and CSS, I myself, after having the knowledge that I already had, learned stuff in this class from reading and what the professors taught us. So don't disservice yourself, read the content, have fun with the class. And here's the last little Darth Vader spoof for you guys. Have fun with that. Thank you.